Ed, let's jump into the segment. What's our next segment?
First quarter, big game talk with our special guest.
So, speaking of our special guest, our very special buddy who hasn't learned a thing from being a guest of ours, he just keeps coming back for more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the host of The Zone from Sports Radio 810 out of Kansas City, Mr. Jason Anderson. Jason, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
I'm doing really good, man. How much do you actually get into like NASCAR? Do you go to the race?
So when I moved back to Kansas City in 2019, I went to the race. I think it was around October, I think is when it was in Kansas Speedway. That's the one and only race I've ever been to, which is crazy because my, cousin worked in pit crews, for like 15 years. He went to pit school in North Carolina and then was bounced around different teams, but NASCAR is not something that I ever got into, except for just like trying to keep tabs on him from time to time. But yeah, the Kansas Speedway back in 2019 is the last race I went to.
Yeah, we try to go to at least one. There's 2 races a year out here at Phoenix Raceway. Yeah. There's the March race coming up in a couple of weeks. If we don't get to that, we definitely try and get to Championship Weekend, which is also out here at Phoenix Raceway. So if you can make it out here, if it's too cold on your side in November, come out here.
Yeah,
and sweat it out with us on the infield and have a great time and all the concerts and stuff. So.
No, it was cool. It was a great experience. They took care of us because I had moved back and they were doing a partnership with the station, and so I got to do like the lap in the pace car before the race and everything, and so that was cool. That in Bubba Wallace's pit crew with his family,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is very cool
to see that. Yeah, so
we're actually doing our review of NASCAR Full Speed on Netflix. Have you had a chance to watch that yet?
Not yet. I want to watch it because I know so many people got into the F1 series, and I'm like, you know what? Let me check this one out with the NASCAR. But I haven't started it yet. But it's definitely in the queue that I want to start watching it soon.
Well, it's a good thing we're having your segment first, so you can listen to that, and then don't listen to the review in the third quarter because I want to hear your thoughts first. I do have a quick question for you, though. Do you know who pulled the alarm at the 49ers hotel?
Well, we talked about it today. I'm surprised at some of the comments coming out of the 49ers and like some big conspiracy or nefarious deal that took place there. What I think happened is they're in Vegas. And I think that I'm pretty sure that's not the only fire alarm that's been pulled in Vegas. And if it was really something that was like crazy or some conspiracy, why would they do it like 5 minutes before the wake up call? Why wouldn't they do it at like 2 or 3 in the morning? Why, like McCaffrey was like, well, it was 7 minutes before I got up and I'm just upset about the 7 minutes of sleep that I lost. Like, wouldn't it be like 2 or 3 in the morning that and wouldn't they do it Saturday night?
Hey, look, maybe the guy that planned on doing it at 3 misses alarm and he just
They went to one more casino. They went. I got to get back and pull this alarm. Come on, man. One more. One more. Gonna go to this roulette table real quick, and then we can go.
I'm going through this list of suspects, and I'm like, okay, you're free because you're staying back because you got a baseball team to coach. Yeah, you're coaching. As a matter of fact, right after this, you're actually going to coach your son's baseball team, right?
Yeah, but we have winter workouts every Friday. So,
Friday. All right, so you're clear. But I mean, what about Briscoe? Like, would Josh do it?
He might. He's not there either. We got our guy Seren is there, and he's the guy that lived in Vegas for a long time. So if there was somebody that might know his way around and the lay of the land, he lived in Vegas for like 6 or 7 years.
Hey, we might be able to put up a lineup. What about what is it? Chad?
Chad Boger. Yeah, Boger. He's out there. He could definitely do it. I think he could definitely do it. He's got some powerful friends in the radio industry, so I think maybe figure it out. I don't know. Like that, the security around those hotels are crazy. Like when in Miami. When the Chiefs were there and we went to their hotel to do some interviews, but like if you walked in the lobby to get any further back, like you had to have a certain key card that showed you were staying there. Right. And to get closer to the elevator, you had to have a key card and then an ID. It couldn't be just like, oh, I gave my friend the key card. No, you had to specifically be staying there to even get past that. So I have no idea how somebody would be like. I don't know where the fire alarm's at. Is there one by the front door? Like,
there's usually one down
as soon
every
as you
hallway.
walk in, you just
it literally could have just been some Not staying
Yeah.
there.
Somebody just smoking something in a room that
Right.
You know what though?
Right.
That reminds me, because when we first met, I was actually your Uber driver.
You were,
when
yeah.
you were in town for the big game when they were here.
Yep, that's
right. And just to get to you, I had to go through like multiple like military style checkpoints with bomb
And it was at a
sniffing
team
dogs.
hotel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the team hotel.
And that wasn't even to get to the front to pick you up. That was to pull up to the barricade about 100, 200 feet away from the front. To wait. I had to go through bomb sniffers. I had to show them I was an Uber driver. I had to do like everything just to get that close. So somebody either staying, it had to be inside job.
Yeah.
It had to be. All right, moving on. All right, so the first thing I want to ask you, I'm going to give you a little bit of challenge here right from the beginning. I need 3 keys real quick to the Chiefs winning the game, but here's the rules. Okay? You can't use Mahomes, Kelsey in your 3 keys, but however, I will accept a Taylor Swift reason of why the Chiefs are going to win. So go 3 keys right now.
Let's see. The first one is going to be the Chiefs' run defense against the zone run. The 49ers are really awesome at the outside zone, and the Chiefs have struggled this year at stopping outside zone runs. Miami runs a similar offense to San Francisco, and the Chiefs were really good at stopping that and limiting that. I think with the Chiefs defensively focusing on that and knowing that's going to be a big part of their team, the fact that the Chiefs secondary is one of the best in the NFL, I think Spagnuolo has taken the approach that he is going to leave his guys on an island with 2 of the best probably cornerbacks in the NFL in quarterback tandems in McDuffie and Snead, and do what they can up at the line of scrimmage to limit the run game. So I think that's the first key to the game. The second one is going to be the exact opposite on the other side of the football for the Chiefs. It's going to be Isaiah Pacheco if he can get running, because the 49ers have struggled against the run. Now I'm talking about the Chiefs struggling against the run. So the 49ers certainly could put all their focus and effort into stopping the run. Difference is their secondary isn't that good, which would bring in the Chiefs quarterback, whose name shall not be mentioned right now. If they can run the football and get that going, I think that's a key. And the final key, which is probably the most important, is Taylor Swift.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you guys did not know, her lucky number is 13.
Yes.
So this is Super Bowl 58, which 5 + 8 is 13. It's played on February 11th, which 2 + 11 is 13. This is the 13th game Taylor Swift will be in attendance for. They are playing the 49ers. 4 + 9 is 13. The 49ers are the 1 seed, and the Chiefs are the 3 seed, which is 13.
That
is awesome. First off, I know you didn't figure that out, so kudos to your staff.
No, not at all.
For figuring that out.
That's awesome.
So I picked the Chiefs to win by 13. I mean, I think it's all signs. It's pretty obvious what's going to happen. But yeah.
Oh my God, I'm almost in tears. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. I'm glad you gave me an out to pick a Taylor Swift key, because I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Everything.
I just threw that out there, just like there's no way in hell he's going to lean that way.
Well, it's the biggest.
You nailed it.
It's the biggest.
You absolutely nailed it. Let's go over some actual game bets and props here real quick. So the line in this game is current. It's not 13. It's currently favors the 49ers.
I like the
-2.5.
alternate line. I like the alternate line. Chiefs -12.5. No.
Oh, wow.
No, they win by 13. Right. No, go ahead.
Niners got the favorite, -2.5 on FanDuel, -2 currently on DraftKings. San Francisco is actually projected to win this by 5. What are you thinking? Obviously, you're a Chiefs guy. Give me which way you're leaning on this one.
So the Taylor Swift stuff aside, I do think the Chiefs win the game, and obviously, being in Kansas City, take it with a grain of salt. That's fine. I look at it the way that, if we look at the regular season and how the teams are playing now, I think they're going in opposite directions. I think the Chiefs are playing their best football, and the 49ers defense has struggled against the Packers and struggled against the Lions, and those are and offensively, they weren't great against the Lions. Certainly in the first half, they weren't great. And the Lions defense is not all that good. And the Chiefs defense, I think, is one of, if not the best in the NFL. So I think the Chiefs have the better defense on the field. I think the Chiefs have clearly the better quarterback, and they have the better coach and coaching staff. And so if I look at those 3 things and how the Chiefs are playing, And Mahomes has been playing next to perfect football this postseason. It's been brilliant. I looked up in a 3-game span in his career. So these 3 games when he's completing 73% of his passes, averaging, 270 per game, and doesn't have an interception with 4 touchdowns. It's the 5th time in his career that he's had a 3-game span that good. And it's happening in the playoffs, and 2 of those are on the road. So the issues that were going on with the Chiefs this year during the regular season, a lot of those have been alleviated. They're not committing penalties. They're not turning the ball over. If they turn the ball over against the Ravens, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. It'd be, Ravens and 49ers being played on Sunday. But they're not turning the ball over, and they have committed fewer penalties than all 3 of the opponents they've faced in the postseason, which is different because they committed more penalties in the postseason than their opponents 12 times in the regular season, I should say. So that's been changed as well. So I think those two, the way the teams are going and how they're playing now at this point, I think is a big factor into it. And I think the best unit on the field will be the Chiefs defense out of the 4.
All right. Let's go through some prop bets here real quick. I mix it up. I got players from both teams. Starting off with George Kittle, over under 49.5 receiving yards.
I'm going to take the over in that. And the reason I'm going to go over in that is because I think the Chiefs secondary and their cornerbacks are really good. That, we've looked at what Stephon Diggs is able to do. Tyreek Hill had the 1 catch for, 45 yards or whatever for a touchdown. But outside of that, he was shut down. Zay Flowers had the big broken coverage play. And that's when L'Jarius Sneed, who plays cornerback, they moved things around and he went to safety. And he talked about it after the game that he came up to make a play and didn't even see Zay Flowers get behind him. Well, he's not a safety. He's a cornerback. I don't know that they want to do that again. But that was also the same drive where Zay Flowers fumbled into the end zone by L'Jarius Sneed. So he got it back. I like what the cornerbacks have done against wide receivers. So I think there's going to be more of a focus on getting Christian McCaffrey going, which should be the focus, but also George Kittle as a tight end. So I'm going to stay over with George Kittle.
All right, let's talk about one of those 49 wide receivers here real quick. Brandon Ayuk, over under 59.5 receiving yards.
I'm going under. I'm going to go under with Ayuk 59.5 receiving yards. I think if there's a receiver that gets over that, it might be total yards Debo, but I'm not sure what the total yards will end up being for him. But I think Ayuk might have a tough go of it because L'Jarius Sneed, who should have been an all-pro cornerback, Trent McDuffie is an all-pro cornerback. He's their slot corner. But their outside corner, L'Jarius Sneed, who's going to make a lot of money this offseason for a team, not the Chiefs. He has been matched up, and he's followed teams' number 1 wide receivers, and his numbers are staggering when he covers the number 1 wide receivers. When number 1 wide receivers on the other team are targeted with L'Jarius Sneed, the quarterback has a rating of under 40. Quarterback rating. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So that's what would concern me about Ayuk is L'Jarius Sneed's probably going to travel with Brandon Ayuk in this game.
Projection puts him at 84.3. With that being said, I'm leaning towards your argument. I actually agree with you on that, and I would take the under as well. Brock Purdy, over under 31.5 passing attempts.
I'm going to go over because I do think the Chiefs are going to be able to limit the running game. I think that's going to be a major focus for the Chiefs. And so I think they're going to want Brock Purdy to beat them. We saw what happened with Lamar Jackson a couple of weeks ago, whether that was Todd Monken just forgetting that they like to run the football, or it was, Steve Spagnuolo and his personnel out there was sort of forcing the hand of saying, we're going to keep our heavier personnel out here and we're going to play for the run. And if you want to keep doing that, that's fine. But we don't think you're going to be successful at doing that. So we're going to make Lamar Jackson beat us. I think they're going to do the same thing with Brock Purdy. Not that they don't think he's a good quarterback. I think they're going to look at it and go, if Christian McCaffrey runs for 150 yards and scores 3 touchdowns and they win the game, I don't know that Steve Spagnuolo, that would sit well with him. Just in general, losing the game wouldn't. But if Brock Purdy goes off for 370 and is just brilliant, I think that's one of those to where you go, all right, he proved it, tip of the cap, and, he did his thing. But I think they're going to make Brock Purdy prove it that he can do it.
I'm going to go over. I think it'll be closer to 40 attempts for those exact reasons, but the projection barely puts him over at 32.7. So let's talk about a few of your guys. Rashee Rice, over under 67.5 receiving yards.
This one's, man, that's close. That's right on it with Rashee Rice. I'm going to go over on that one because the secondary for the 49ers is not great. And I think there's going to be a lot of attention paid to Travis Kelce. And Charvarius Ward is a guy the Chiefs are very familiar with. You know, he was on the team last year as a cornerback or 2 years ago with the cornerback. And he got paid a lot of money by the 49ers in free agency 2 seasons ago. So this is his second season with the 49ers. And one of the things that I was reading, and this is not my stat because I will not be able to break down football the way that this was, is that on in-breaking routes, okay, now you're getting into the minutia, but in-breaking routes, Charvarius Ward struggles with. It gives up some of the most gains. And Rashee Rice's best this year has been in-breaking routes. He's been the best on the Chiefs. So I don't know if they go to the well a lot or if that's just one of those where, okay, how often are they going to run that? And if they do run it, does Mahomes have time? Is that the main read? All of that stuff. But I think it's going to be right around there. But I'll lean over because I do think the Chiefs are going to want to run the football a lot in this game. I don't know that they're going to want Mahomes to drop back 45, 50 times in this game. So I'll lean over, but I think that's probably right on. It's probably one I wouldn't touch, to be honest with you.
I'm taking the over, and I'll be all over it because the projection is 87.
Wow. Yeah.
87.
Yeah. Look, if they focus so much on Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice has proven that, yards after catch, it's been his thing. I mean, he's 15 yards after catch away from breaking the rookie record for a postseason, which is Jamar Chase. Nice. Same rookie that played 4 games in the postseason. So Jamar Chase holds the record, and Rashee Rice, I think, is 15 yards after the catch away from breaking that record. It's what he does. So they're going to get him the ball, I think, a number of times. And if he can break, that one, he's a 30, 35 yarder away from, breaking that one, just as, putting him over the number there. So, yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, over under 16 and a half rushing attempts. That's usually right around there. You think he's going to be over?
I think he's going to be over that. I think they're going to spend the first half trying to get him involved. And I think in the second half, if they've got the lead, I think it's going to be something that they want to lean on and rely on. So I think they're going to get over on that one. I think he may get to 20 in this game.
All right. I like the over. I was saying probably about 18, which is where the projection puts him. But Travis Kelce, over under 70 and a half. Now, keep in mind, where I get my stats, they put the over under last game at like 62. Mm-hmm. He went a little bit over that.
Did a little bit, yeah. I'm going over with this one with Travis Kelce because if we watch Travis Kelce in the middle of the season and he had that stretch of 4 or 5 games where he had 100 yards, he had 100 yards at halftime a couple of games, he had the touchdowns, and towards the end of the year, he just got worn down. He's in his mid-30s now. So, he's played 11, 12 years in the NFL. And so you see the age catching up to Travis Kelce. And I think that's what was going on at the end of the season. And then he had the week off in week 18 because the Chiefs were locked into the 3 seed. So he didn't play. And he looked different the games in the playoffs. He looked faster against Miami. He talked about it going into the Buffalo game. He's like, I feel even, more refreshed for whatever reason than, going into the Miami game and then Baltimore. So now he's got another week off. So I think you're going to see vintage Travis Kelce. He looks faster and he's making catches that early in the year when it looked like he was tired that he wasn't making, especially that Kyle Hamilton back shoulder, the 4th down play against the Ravens, the first drive of the game. So, and the diving catch, obviously, those are things we didn't see Travis doing at the end of the season. He was dropping those passes. And I think there's probably some mental exhaustion that goes along with it too, with him getting used to being Taylor Swift's boyfriend. There's some Kansas City famous, and then there's some world famous getting used to. She's used to it. He's not. He's used to Kansas City famous, where you could go to the grocery store and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Travis Kelce. Now you can't. Now you got people waiting for you to leave your house.
I think that if the Chiefs win this game, the MVP is going to be Rashee Rice, and the reason behind that is they are going to be concentrating so much on Travis Kelce. I'm going to go for the under in that.
One quick one, if you want to, you may ask this later, so I apologize, but Travis Kelce's numbers for MVP are plus 1,400. Remember, 20% of the vote is the fan voting.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Swifties that are going to be voting for Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So I threw some money on Travis Kelce plus 1,400 because the fans give out 4 votes and it's by percentage. So if the percentage is too high to where somebody can get a half a vote, they just won't even get it. They'll give all 4 votes to Travis Kelce. And if he gets all 4 votes, he would need 7 of the other 16 to then win MVP.
Plus 1,400 is very tempting.
It is, yeah.
Very tempting.
I didn't put a lot, but it was sort of the Swifty bet.
$20, yeah.
He's going to win the fan vote. I just don't know if he's going to get all 4 points out of the fan vote.
Yeah. 2
more before we jump into the novelty bets. Christian McCaffrey over under 4.5 receptions.
Oh man, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
I'm gonna. Wow, trying to think of just like. But I'll go over. I think there's going to be some screens thrown in there. I think they're going to try to get the Chiefs on some blitzes because that's what Spags likes to do. I mean, if Spags could blitz himself, he'd run out there on the field and run after the quarterback if he could, but he's not allowed. So I'm going to go over with that. I think they're going to try to run some screens and try to keep the Chiefs off balance with the blitz game.
The projection's at 5.9. That would put him over. Your guy, Patrick Mahomes, Mr. Dad Bod himself, over under 260.5 passing yards.
I am going to go over on that. I think the secondary for the 49ers is pretty weak. So yeah, I'm going to go over on that. I think there's some other wide receivers that may get in. I think Pacheco is going to get some receptions as well. And it's why I like the over with Kelce. And we'll see about Rashee Rice. But I'm going to go over with Patrick Mahomes in the passing yards. Even though these 3 games, he hasn't been, a huge yards accumulator, especially in the second half against Baltimore. But Baltimore's got a much better defense than San Francisco.
I agree. And the projections put him over at 273.3. All right. The question of the week. Okay. I actually tried to figure out this bet earlier on in the week. I went on to my Twitter, my X account. I said heads or tails, and I let it run for 3 days, and it literally came back 50-50. No help at all. What are you picking? Heads or tails for the coin toss?
Tails never fails, right? I mean, that's what it does.
My life motto.
I don't know. I'll go tails. I'm
going tails too.
Is there some statistical study that shows that one is more likely in the Super Bowl?
Actually, the one thing that I've read suggests that it's a 1 in 3 chance you'll get tails, that it's a 2 in 3 chance you'll get heads. But I personally have always had better luck with tails.
My guy in Vegas that runs a tout site says that he's going under on the national anthem.
I didn't see that bet in DraftKings. I'm a big DK guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see that bet in the novelty bets. So
yeah, he said he's going under because Reba, as she's getting older, is not extending her notes as much. And this is his daughter has picked the right over under like 10 years in a row.
What?
So his daughter studies it for his site.
Interesting.
And he said under national anthem with Reba because she's doing the studying and she's saying that Reba over the years, her notes are not held as longer. She's not doing as much intricate stuff. She's more straightforward with her national anthems. And this one with the bigger stage, she's not going to want to, make a mistake or hit a wrong note. So she's just going to be straightforward and do the national anthem. So 10 years in a row, his daughter is going for 11 straight. She's saying under.
Jesus. If that's not inside information, I don't know what is. That is awesome.
It's not Reba's daughter. It's just, whatever.
Yeah.
She studied, try to get an angle one way or another, I guess,
All right. Yes or no, Usher will do a moonwalk during his halftime show.
Oh, wow. Boy, can the moonwalk does it have to be the specific moonwalk backwards? Because Usher does sort of that sideways one where he's got his feet going.
No. It's got to be the MJ. It's got to be the MJ.
I'm going to say no then. I'm going
to
say no. Yeah.
I might agree with you on that one. I don't know that I've ever seen Usher do a moonwalk, so I don't know why he suddenly.
Yeah, he always does the one that slides to his left or right.
I've seen it, and now that we're together, I don't know if I could tell you where I've seen it.
I don't know how to respond to that.
It was during a Victoria's Secret show where he was singing on the catwalk, and he actually literally in the middle of his song escorted one of the models down the catwalk doing the moonwalk backwards. So I've definitely seen it. Because that's all I was paying attention to was Usher during that entire show.
Of course.
Let me just throw that out there. All right, Taylor Swift, moving on. Taylor Swift, over under 5.5 times being shown after the kickoff.
Way over.
You got the over. You got the way over.
No, I agree. They're going to be nuts about it.
Yes, this is if there was a time to show Taylor Swift, it's a time when people actually care about the celebrities, the commercials. Like so many people are watching this game that don't watch other games. Like if you're talking about like a Week 15 game, people getting annoyed by it, and maybe we shouldn't show her that often. It's the Super Bowl. They show random celebrities all the time. They'll show Taylor Swift more than
anytime she has a reaction. Somebody goes, "Oh, how cute!" They're gonna put her on screen.
Will we see a shirtless Jason Kelce during this game?
I mean, if there's a God, yes, we will.
Dude, I saw the other night. I actually showed it to Marnie. Funko Pop has actually made a shirtless Jason Kelce, complete with beer, that you can buy now. That's and amazing. All the proceeds to that, by the way, go to charity, which is awesome. But yeah, they did it.
It's so funny. I love it.
Will we have, now this is a Kansas City thing, will we have Swag Surfing played during the game?
Okay, so that's interesting because Willie Gay, the linebacker for the Chiefs, when they were playing the Bengals, is the one that was on camera that looked back and said, "Hey, tell the DJ to get some Swag Surfing. We need." Oh, that's amazing.
Sorry to interrupt. I had to show you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Willie Gay told the cameraman, "Hey, can you get the message up there? We need some energy. Let's get Swag Surfing." And they played Swag Surfing, and the defense went out there and got a turnover, and then. So then they talked about it that week. We started playing it on our show, and then now it's been the anthem, as you talked about. So we had Willie Gay on our show yesterday, and I asked him, I said, "Are you going to request Swag Surfing at the Super Bowl?" And he said, "When we get up 14 or 21 points in the fourth quarter, I'm going to make sure that they play Swag Surfing for us."
When?
He didn't say if.
I like the confidence there.
When?
He said, when we get up 14 or 21 points, I'm going to have them play it for us when we're out there on defense. So he has said, first of all, that's a big qualifier to get up by 2 touchdowns. But he has said that if that happens, they will they'll try to send word up there to get Swag Surfing played on the over the PA.
You know what? I listened to that episode. First off, big kudos to Chad Bogert for running around with the phone to get you interviewed.
It was awesome. Spagnolo, Drew Tranquil, Willie Gay, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling just handing him the phone. Like, part of me wanted to be like, I just want to play the game of who is this? Like, all right, they hand him the phone. What college did you go to? Where'd you grow up?
What year did you get drafted?
What draft class were you in? Or free agent, trade? Or you draft pick?
All right, so
great.
Let's put you in Willie Gay's shoes here. You're a player on the sideline. And you have the opportunity to call up and say, "I want this song played right now." What song are you going to play? It could be rap, it could be rock. What are you thinking to get the crowd going?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I don't. You know what? I'll go with this one because it's a running joke on our show. Sandstorm. I'll go with that one. We'll go with the Sandstorm. So there you go. We'll go with that. Yes, it just be down there, and all of a sudden you hear, and everybody just starts looking around. Yeah, that's
what they just start going crazy because they're into it. Yeah. I've got 2 songs from basically like the late 90s.
Okay.
Actually, one of them's Thunderstruck by AC/DC, which I absolutely love. But one of my favorite rap songs of all time to get people crunk is High Low by JT Money.
Okay. All right.
If you don't know the song, go listen to it. Tell the Chiefs to play that song. If I hear it during the Super Bowl, I will go freaking crazy.
What's crazy is until I came up with Sandstorm, I was thinking, I'll probably go with Thunderstruck. But
that's a good one.
Thunderstruck would have been my second choice. Yeah. So if I had 2, it would have been Sandstorm and Thunderstruck.
Before I let you go, because I know you got to go coach baseball, quick thoughts on Gerard Mayo being named the new head coach in the New England Patriots. What are your thoughts?
Better than Bill Belichick. Should be. No, not that he will be better than Bill Belichick.
Oh, okay.
I think it's better than moving forward with Bill Belichick as the coach. That's run its course. I worry about trying to recreate the Patriot way of just doing that. Hopefully he finds his own way and doesn't just go, well, Bill did it this way, or this is how it should be done that way. Find his own way, do it the way that he wants, and it's a better chance of being successful than just trying to, mimic what somebody else did, but putting your own spin on it. So
I do agree with that line of thinking.
I like it. It's a new start. You got a whole new coaching staff. There's a couple position coaches that have come back, but the big ones, the OC, the DC, like they're new.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a whole new start. I don't know if we're going quarterback. I don't know if we're trading back. I don't know what we're looking like with the new GM, but I kind of like it. All I know is this guy right here will not be up there after the Super Bowl. Mac Jones jersey is done. It's like the cutoff for when you absolutely need to take the Christmas tree down.
Okay. Yeah.
So this Sunday is when the Christmas tree comes down for Mac Jones. That's gone. We'll get some Red Sox stuff up there. We'll get
I didn't know if maybe a Bailey Zappi went up there in its place or not.
No. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm done with current players. I'm going to throw like an Andre Tippett or a Brewski or a Gerard Mayo jersey up there for next season.
That would work.
So I think I'm safer going with some Gronk. Maybe do like the Brady thing. I never bought the entire time. I never bought a single Brady jersey because everybody had it.
Get a Deion Branch one up there. I lived in Louisville.
Oh, Deion Branch, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Jason. Man, we got to get some swag coming your way. I'll send you a text after the show. We got to get you hooked up, get some S3 stuff on you. As long as dude, you got to take a selfie with it. I don't care if you wear it. Take a selfie with it for me so I can say we made the big time. Jason Anderson showing off our gear.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of The Zone from Sports Radio 810. Mr. Jason Anderson. It's the third time. He never learned.
It's a pleasure.
It's third time on the show.
Yes. There you go.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, man. We definitely appreciate you. Hey, go be dad of the year and be instead of being in Vegas for the Super Bowl.
I know.
He chose to coach his kids' baseball.
Darn right. That's right.
That's
absolutely awesome. Jason, take care, buddy, man.
See you guys.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right. So that third time's like we warned him. Like after the first one, he came back, and then he wanted to come back again.
He's awesome.
All right, I reached out to him and said,
"Absolutely,
I love having him on, man." Even though we're Patriots fans, right? And we got this Chiefs guy that I met while doing Uber.
As big of a Patriot fans as we are, you still have to respect the Chiefs. The Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey era Chiefs have been pretty spectacular to watch.
Now, with that being said, obviously he thinks Chiefs. He's picking the Chiefs. What's your pick for the final score before we close out this? What are you looking at for a score?
I can't decide. I do think it's probably going to be close, like maybe with even a field goal. And I think I don't know, 23-20.
The over-under in this game is 50.5.
Yeah.
That's where it's
everybody's
projected.
Expecting it to be high scoring.
I'm thinking I'm going to take, I couldn't say this with him on the show, and I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Niners just because they haven't been there since they haven't won since it's been a while, right? I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking 27-24.
My only personal vote for the Niners is because I think Christian McCaffrey deserves a fucking ring. I do like the Chiefs better, if we're being honest, between the two teams, which is my gut tells me.
Let's get Mr. Irrelevant from Brock Purdy's from here. He went to school here in the Valley at Chandler. I believe it was Chandler High School. Let's get him a ring just because we're in Arizona. That's not the reason why I picked him. I actually believe that the Niners are going to win this game, but it's going to be close, like you said. I got 27-24 is my final on that. Moving